What do you think the single most important thing we need to be doing right now as Americans and as a country is?
Well, the very first thing is the social isolation, so that the number of contacts outside your household is minimized. And, washing your hands, distancing as much as possible. Those are going to cause this exponential growth in the infection to both level off. Hopefully in the next month, we'll see that leveling off in most of the country. And then as we go another month after that, we need to get the numbers down pretty dramatically so that then we can look at what activities we start to open back up.
Do you think there should be a national policy?
Absolutely. As long as people are moving around within the country, we're all in this together. It'll help everyone get out of this more quickly and reduce the deaths and reduce the economic reduction if we implement these strong isolation measures on a countrywide basis. The sooner you start, the less cases you're going to have, and the sooner we can all go back to some level of normalcy.
Earlier this year, the Gates Foundation gave $100 million towards fighting this virus. What specifically is that money doing to help Americans right now?
When this particular virus hit, we saw that getting the testing capacity up very rapidly would be very, very key. Testing is important. Drugs to reduce the disease, so we created the Therapeutics Accelerator for that. And then we're working closely with the vaccine companies, and they're the ones, although it's probably 18 months or so, they're the ones that can really get things back to where we're not worried about large public gatherings.
You think it's 18 months at the soonest?
Well, if everything went perfectly, you could do somewhat better than that, but I wouldn't want to create an expectation for something quicker. We've got to make sure it's safe. We have to build up the manufacturing capacity.
So from what you see in terms of the response so far, have we got anything right? Is there any reason to be optimistic about the way we've responded to this epidemic?
Well, there are countries that responded very quickly. So Taiwan, realized very early on what needed to be done. South Korea ramped up their testing and did the prioritization, so you're getting those tests back quickly. We understand what needs to be done here. It's going to be very painful, but taking the pain early means there's a lot less pain, both medically and economically, than if we dilly-dally and wait until every town has big numbers before we react.
How concerned are you about the resiliency of the American economy?
Well, the economy is being hurt, and that's translated to uncertainty, people losing their jobs, businesses that are having a hard time financing their costs. It's great that Congress has acted. We probably will need to do more there. There will be a point where we have the vaccine and we're going completely back to normal. And we'll go somewhat back to normal if we do the right things, not even that long from now. But the economy can return in a way that people who get sick and die cannot. As we start to open up and are able to have people go back to almost all jobs, as the schools are resuming, you'll start to see that recovery. It will probably be years before you get back to where you were before, but it can come back and it will come back.
Is life ever going to be the same, do you think?
Not for some time. Everybody who's lived through this will view this as a dramatic, scary part of their life, and it will affect, their concerns and how they look at things for the rest of time.
Should it ever be the same? Should life ever be the same?
After World War II, things were never the same. We dropped nuclear bombs. But the idea of big public gatherings, I do believe once we have the vaccination, then the kind of fears and the change of behavior around that, it could definitely be pretty close to where it was before this started.
Mm-hmm. Bill Gates, thanks very much for being with us. Please stay healthy.
Thank you.